and they're all red states for some reason. You know what I mean? The prep states. I call them penicillin because they need it. And they're always trying to erect the Ten Commandments. And I said, instead of paying $20,000 for a statue that looks like a tombstone, why don't you buy some prophylaxis, open a window, and just start throwing them at people? Because you need it. It's one of the grossest days.
Yeah, I think, I work in healthcare, and so I think I was reading not that long ago that recently there's been a surge in certain STIs, specifically in Texas, and there was another red state also. It was in the hundreds of thousands of cases, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, and now because there's obviously not as much reporting from the CDC, public reporting, to the public. Those unless you go searching for it, they're not actively making it a public safety issue.
Yeah, I looked into it. Mississippi and Louisiana are always tied, or every year they kind of swap. They're like Boston and LA when it comes to driving, the worst of the worst.
Wow.
Alaska's up there in the top 3, and it's actually number 1 in a certain category. But yeah, any states that have abstinence only or preferred sex ed, you're going to have a health crisis. And I always laugh and say, are they putting up the Ten Commandments in response to the outbreaks of certain things, or is it or is that the karma of not doing or teaching properly?
Yeah,
probably both.
Probably both.
Karma finds us all.
Did you live in Anchorage?
I did.
Yeah.
Alaska, it's in the top 3 for the most, bad. But they're the least friendly to gay tourists. They barely have any protection for working or hate crimes. Because not even half of the states even have sexual orientation listed as a hate crime under their legislature.
That's terrifying in this day and age. I always, for me, it's always definitely somewhat of a culture shock because I've, grown up in such a diverse area where, we have those laws in place. So to sometimes hear that other states are kind of living backwards is...
It's because they want to return to a time where they were so privileged and there was no accountability. Make America great again for white people. When you're used to entitlement, privilege, equality, feels like you're being oppressed. Because if you're not the elitist anymore...
100%. It's terrifying to watch, really, because it's one of those things where you're like, no, this is never going to happen. It's never going to happen. How could this happen? And then it happens, right? And you're just like, whoa, okay. And then something else gets put into play, and you're like, no, that could never happen. We wouldn't go backwards. And then...
There's so much ignorance. I've driven about 200 people who are in the queer community this month alone. And I asked each of them, why do we celebrate Pride in June? Only one straight and one gay person could tell me. All the other people said, because it's a month that has good weather. And I said, no, that's weddings. It's you don't even know why you celebrate this in June. It's because in most states it's illegal for schools to teach Black history, let alone right?
Yeah.
I'm sure people at Arkansas would just start screaming if you mentioned inclusion.
Yeah.
Of course, I grew up in white supremacy, white privileged, and my homeschooling curriculum was from Florida. Yeah. They love George Bush. George Bush, if he had decency, he could have signed equal rights for gays, gay marriage, struck down DOMA, Don't Ask, Don't Tell 10 years before Obama did it, but he chose not to.
It's crazy to me just how much people, they pick and choose what they want to, fixate on in terms of, administrations and, things that they...
Right here?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Never stop protesting. The second you do,